ask you to find your seats, and we will begin shortly. So welcome to the candidate forum for the Johnson County Presiding Commissioner's race. The race is happening on August 2nd, and I'd like to welcome you. The reason I'm introducing myself and welcoming you is I serve as the Government Relations Committee Chairman. My name is Alan Brandt, and I serve on that board for the Warrensburg, Missouri Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce is hosting this event for our community. And I'd like to introduce a few people and thank a few people before I have Marion take over and start the candidate forum. So if we have any chamber ambassadors in the room with us tonight, if you'd please wave, give a quick wave if you're present or past chamber ambassador. We have any elected officials in the room. If you'll also just give a quick wave if you're an elected official, thank you very much. I'd like to thank the venue, the Matthews Crawford Post 131 VFW, for making it possible to host this candidate forum in their space today. I mentioned Marion Woods earlier. Marion will serve as our Master of Ceremonies and person asking the questions to the candidates. So in a moment I'll ask you to help me thank Marion Woods. And finally, I'd like to recognize and thank some 4-H timekeepers. We have Riley Edmonds and Rebecca Papsophikas helping us out with keeping time this evening. So with that, I will pass things over to Marion Woods. If you'll just help me thank everyone that I mentioned and everyone that...
All the questions, by the way, that will be asked this evening were submitted and selected by the Chamber's Governmental Relations Committee. All of the candidates have been given the questions in advance. And as a public service, the Greater Warrensburg Area Chamber of Commerce's role tonight is to sponsor this event, to provide the public the opportunity to hear from the candidates seeking office so that they have and may make a better informed decision about their representatives in government. The Warrensburg Chamber of Commerce is a nonpartisan organization, and in that nonpartisan spirit, has to the best of its ability strive to put fairness above all else by including and obtaining consensus between the county committee chairpersons in every aspect of the planning of the event, and by including any and all candidates seeking office regardless of party affiliation in tonight's candidate forum. Candidates will be seated in the back room of the building and called to the podium one at a time. Each candidate will then be given 1 minute to introduce themselves and answer 3 questions. Now, even before I got here to the building tonight, I have made a determination by a random drawing of the order of candidates to answer the questions, and will randomly also select the 3 questions out of the 5 that I have here for each of them to answer. And each candidate gets 1 minute per question to answer. That all clear? Our first candidate is Kevin Coleman. To introduce yourself.
1 minute. Start
1 minute.
Or right now.
Is it? Go.
I'm Kevin Coleman, born and raised in Kingsville, moved down to Warrensburg in 1980 to go to school. That lasted about a year. I decided I'd go to work full time, so I got on the stalls and worked there. Worked nights, went to school, finished my degree, started teaching and coaching for about 10 years. Got an opportunity to go back to Kingsville as a high school principal for 3 years, and then my last 14 years were spent as a superintendent of schools. As far as qualifications go, I think it's important to serve. I've served on the Holden School Board. I've served on the Missouri State High School Activities Association. I'm currently the president of the board of the Kingsville Medical Clinic, so I think it's very important to serve. I think I'm qualified for this position because I have managed taxpayers' money for 14 years in the school district. I did that in a conservative fashion. Was able to raise the reserve balances from 4% to 54% when I left in 2017. So that's why I'm running, that's why I'm here. Stop.
All right, thank you. I have randomly drawn number 2 for your first question, all right? The second question on the list is, in your opinion, what are the critical projects that should receive ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act, funding that will most benefit Johnson County?
Well, I think it's a good problem to have when you got free money to spend. So I think the most important things is our law enforcement, our communication system with law enforcement, that needs to be up to date. I know there's a system out there called MoSwim, which is a seamless system. It's an interoperability system which allows law enforcement to talk seamlessly to each other no matter where in the county they're at. There's no dead zones. So I think that's a benefit. Broadband coverage, I think putting some money into that, offering high-speed internet all across the county. More people are working at home, and it's important to let them be able to do that with broadband. Another thing I'd like to see some money spent on is drug prevention. I think we need to focus on that. We have the Recovery Court, which is a great program to turn people's lives around. And if we turn people's lives around, they're going to be productive citizens. Another area is mental health issues. I think we need to spend funds for people with mental health problems. You see it every day. People have issues. In the school systems, beside the regular counselors, they're contracting with counseling services to bring more counselors in. There's a need for that.
All right, thank you. And your next question, I've just drawn number 4. And that is, what adjustments would you like to see concerning the budget and how this relates to the rising costs in today's economy?
Okay, and I'm going to answer that question, but I'm really not going to answer that question because I've looked at the county budget, and that's kind of a convoluted document. There's 94 pages of it. There's over 50 funds, separate funds. Some funds have more funds. The Road and Bridge Department has 4 separate funds just for that department. The Sheriff's Fund has one. The Jail Fund has one. And there's other departments that have multiple funds. So it's kind of confusing. So I'm trying to wrap my mind around that. I've asked a lot of questions. I noticed the other day in a couple of funds, I thought there was a surplus of money in those. I asked our county clerk about that. She explained that to me why it was like that, and it made sense. I do think, looking at the budget, that our department heads have done a good job keeping within their budget. So that's positive. But as far as I need to learn more about the budget as we go, and I will do that. I need to know how the transfers work, what are the restrictions on the transfers. In the school system, you have 4 funds, and you're restricted by what you can transfer in and out of. I went over there a little bit, didn't I?
Just a little bit. Number 3 was it? Number 3. Would you support implementing planning and zoning in Johnson County during your term?
Well, that's not a decision the commissioners will make. What I would support is listening to people in the county. I know that's been tried here, at least in the county, a couple of times. And I think for the most part over the years, people want less government in their lives and more government. But things have changed. People's ideas about that have changed. So I want to get out in the county, learn about that, learn what people want. Get out there and talk to people. Maybe the commissioners can have a meeting in each one of the surrounding communities once a month, or a listening session, and see what people want. So I can't answer your question if I support it or not, because ultimately it's not my decision. It's citizens of Johnson County's decision.
But the question was, would you support it?
It depends on what it looks like. Yeah.
All right. That's your 3 questions.
That's it?
That's it. Thank you very much.
If I can, I would like to say 2 things. One, thanks for the chamber for doing this. Appreciate that so much. And then I'd like everybody to give Woody a round of applause because he donates so much time. Can y'all hear me okay? I'm Bob Cochran. I've owned several businesses in Warrensburg. I came in 1980. I've had optical business, convenience store business, loft-style apartments on Pine Street, medical building on Russell Avenue, so I know what it's like to work for city officials, city government, county government, state government. So I know about budgets, how to prepare budgets, and to stay within that budget. I grew up in a small town in Arkansas, and I come from a family that likes to serve their community. My grandfather and my dad both served as the elected mayors of the city I grew up in. I believe in serving the community. It's a great community we live in. I formed the Johnson County Cancer Foundation in 2007. We give money to anybody fighting cancer in the county. All they do is have to write a letter. I'm a good listener. I know how to communicate with most people, and I know how to handle complaints because I've been in the retail business almost my whole life.
All right, first question, Bob. I drew number 4, random drawing here, and that is, what adjustments would you like to see concerning the budget and how this relates to the rising costs in today's economy?
Well, right now, it's tough on everyone, not just the county officials, but me and you and everyone else in the community because of the gas prices so high, which also makes the food prices high, the electric bill so high, everything's so cotton picking high right now, it's ridiculous. So with the county, you know, the county commissioner's job is basically bridges and roads, and the fuel costs for diesel fuel is getting ridiculously high, so they're working in with their budget, but it's really hard to take care of that. So my recommendation is to all the elected county officials to kind of screw down their spending right now so we can get through this tough time.
All right, next question, number 5. On my list, number 5 is, what is your vision for the old county jail located directly west of the courthouse?
Well, like most of us, we'd probably like to tear it down because it's a big eyesore for downtown, I know that. But it's a building that's been there forever. It housed the county jail. I just met with Dallas a few minutes ago, about a couple of hours ago, about the building. They're using almost totally all the space they have in that building to the capacity. They got a huge conference room, which I don't think is big enough, according to Dallas. I did talk to Dallas. I think they're working on getting someone to paint some murals on the side of the building. I hope that goes through. If there's money in our budget, I would like to see us paint the whole entire building outside and then to paint the roof because it needs to be painted also. We can't afford to tear it down because it's so expensive to tear down. There's so much concrete in that because it was a jail. It'd be so outrageous to do that. Plus, it'd be so expensive to build one at this time because everything's so high.
All right, thank you. Number 2 is the next one. In your opinion, what are the critical projects that should receive ARPA funding, American Rescue Plan Act funding, that will most benefit Johnson County?
Well, I've been down to one meeting with the commissioners a couple of weeks ago on Thursday. We're talking about some of the things that they've already projected for that. They're giving monies to the cities of Holden, Eaton, and some other communities that would be matching funds from the DNR department. So if the whole city of Holden gets $150,000 for a water, I believe then DNR will also match that. So the money they're spending right now is for drinking water and wastewater. I'm pretty sure that's right.
That was your 3 questions. You still have time left.
That's okay.
Okay? That's all you get?
Oh, well, I do have a couple, one other thing I looked down at. I know that they're trying to, the courthouse, as you know, is an old courthouse, and air conditioning is a big issue there. They still use the window units, and I think maybe they're going to try to spend some of the funds for that project to make sure that the facility is updated. I know the stairs, some of the stairways is also deteriorating, and they have to work with the, since it's a historical building, it has to be done the right way to preserve the historical value of it. And another thing I'd like to spend money on, if we can, is mental health issues that we have, not only in our county, our city, our state, but the biggest issue right now is mental health, and we need to spend time and effort and money programs to help the mental health.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. One minute for an introduction, Violet.
Okay. My name's Violet Corbett, and can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. I've been a resident of Johnson County since I was 6 years old. I wasn't fortunate enough to be born in Missouri. I was born in Texas. That accounts for my mouth sometimes. But I've been married to my husband for for 54 years, excuse me. And we have a dozer business that I've always done the books for and secured contracts for. And I'm familiar with bidding process and that.
All right. First question. Number 3. Would you support implementing planning and zoning in Johnson County during your term?
No, I would not.
That's
That's my answer.
That's it, simple,
Firmly,
okay.
Very, very firmly. I would not support it.
okay. Our next question then is number 5. Do you have a vision? What would it be for the old county jail located just west of the courthouse?
I believe I would raise the building, would use it for a storage facility, put a building up there for storage for the county and the maintenance department of the county.
Just get rid of it, huh?
That's right.
Okay. Number 1. How will you improve communications to the county about what the commissioners are doing?
There's several different ways. Right now, they do a bidding, they do a post an agenda, and they've got a web page that you can contact them. But I know other counties also have done have a web presence, and they show the projects they're working on as they're ongoing and as they're completed. I'd like to see Johnson County do that. Pettis County does a really good job showing that.
All right. Is that it?
Uh-huh.
That's your 3 questions.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. Thank you. Minute to introduce yourself, Troy.
I guess I get the back cleanup tonight. Troy Matthews, running for presiding commissioner in Johnson County. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank the chamber and Marion. And as of right now, I'm a full-time farmer. I've been in the construction business for 35 years around Warrensburg. I think that'll help me run the maintenance department, the maintenance of roads and bridges and buildings around the county. And I run the budget being a contractor, and I think that'll work for doing this job.
All right. Does he have time? First question for you is the 3rd one. Would you support implementing planning and zoning in the county during your term?
No, I would not. It's been tried before, and the voters have spoken, and I'm not even for sure it's the commissioner's job to implement planning and zoning. I think before it's been done through a petition process, and it didn't pass, and all it does is cost the county money to get it started, or get it put on the ballot, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Doesn't work.
Nothing you would support. All right. Question number 2 for you is the 5th one. Do you have a vision for the old county jail located directly west of the courthouse?
Yes, I do. I'd like to make it look better. I don't know exactly how, but I'd like to make it look better. I'd like to see it painted, fixed up a little bit. The parking lot could use some work. The entrance to the extension center and that area could use some work, make it look better, make it look not like an abandoned building. I don't think we've got the money to tear it down right now. There's too much, it costs a lot to tear it down. I think there's some issues there.
Okay, you ready for number 3?
Yep.
Question 1. How will you improve communications to the county about what the commissioners are doing?
Well, I think they communicate pretty well right now. The doors are always open. The agenda's published on the website. I had a break here. The commission comes and meets with you once a month, and it's on the radio. I would think maybe some public or some social media coverage might be good. I think of maybe a county Facebook page or something of that nature to maybe help people see what's going on, what's happening.
Okay, you still have time left. Any additional comments?
Thank everybody for being here, and I hope to have your support August 2nd.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Troy.
Those are our candidates. Those are their answers. I've got a couple of remarks and a correction I need to make of something that I said. I want to start with the correction. So it was Matthews Crawford American Legion that is lending us their space and serving as host tonight, and I want to thank them for that. Thank you. You may also have noticed there are some cameras in the room tonight. So there are two sources. This is being filmed by two different sources. The Daily Star-Journal is live streaming this. I'm not exactly sure to what platform is that, to Facebook, to Facebook's platform. The Chamber is also recording with our own recording. That will be edited and then will be posted to the Chamber's YouTube channel. And when we have a link, that link will be posted to the Chamber's website as well. So that is where you can reference, in the days leading up to the election, what happened here tonight. Finally, I want to invite the candidates to feel free to stay in the back at the conclusion of our forum and speak one-on-one with the voters. We can allow that, and we certainly want to promote that. So if you'd like to ask some questions that you didn't get clarity on to a specific candidate, if the candidate chooses to stay back in the back, by all means we want to promote that one-on-one communication. So that is everything from me. I found this very insightful and valuable. I hope you did too, and I want to wish you all a nice evening.